Today we chat with naturopath Gail Matthew about gut health and why she created Kombucha City. We visit and experience the gorgeous food and wine at the chef's table at the Hotel Britomart. We revisit last summer on Waiheke Island with the Nanda Tours. And finally, Real Housewife of Auckland Anne Batley Burton shares another champagne etiquette tip. Well, it seems the more that I talk to people through the vehicle of the show, the more that I find out there's a lot of people just like me, they struggle with their gut health. So here to demystify what could be going on in your gut is qualified naturopath and medical herbalist and creator of Kombucha City. It's Gail Matthew. Gail, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Look, it's lovely to have you here. First of all, for anybody who hasn't tried your product, I have to say shout out to Kombucha City, a delicious drink. But before we get into that, let's talk about your background in creating this incredible business. So you started out as a qualified naturopath and medical herbalist. How did you get into that industry?
So many years of poor health, really, as a lot of naturopaths find their journey that way.
Yes.
Just really loved the natural products that were on offer and helped me to overcome chronic fatigue.
Wow.
And so it just, there'd been a bit of a family history, I suppose. My mum had been ill before me, and then I was sick, and I just said to myself, I really just want to break this cycle, and how can I do that? And so the more knowledge, the more power, really. So just really wanted to train to learn more, to be able to help the family.
I think that's such a beautiful reason. Often we talk to people about the why behind their business, why they got into it. So obviously health for yourself and for your whole family. And that became a business for you as well.
Well, it did initially, because I was a practicing naturopath from home when my children were young. But then the global financial crisis put paid to that. And so we shut the business down, and I went to work for other people, just getting the kids through school and sort of focusing on being able to be a mum a lot more. And then as the kids got older, I just sort of started to get the urge again to be doing something for myself, and thought, well, what could I do? So had been looking at lots of random businesses, nothing really to do with health, just lots of businesses, thinking, could I run this? Could I do this? As I was sort of trying to work out what it was that I wanted to do. But then friends of mine started saying to me, as I was plying my homemade kombucha onto them, every time they came to visit, they started saying to me that that was really good and that I should be selling it. And there wasn't a lot of kombucha around at the time.
Right.
So, that was how it began.
Wow. So let's jump back before we jump forward. So gut health is obviously a big thing, and a lot of people will look at alternative medicines, which I think are, natural medicines should be mainstream. That's my shout out for natural medicine. But a lot of people really struggle with their gut health, and of course the gut, the second brain, the gut-brain connection. It affects our overall well-being. That's certainly been my experience. So let's dive a little bit into the gut. What do most people experience from your naturopathic background? What do most people experience?
Oh, I guess there's a variety of digestive upsets that people have. IBS is really common, even if people don't put a label on it. There's a lot of that, maybe slightly looser bowels to another day not being able to go to the bathroom. People having their bowels move once every 3 days and thinking that's normal. And not understanding, because we don't talk about our bowel habits with friends, it's not a common thing that we're like, oh, did you poo this morning? It's just not something that we talk about, right? So you think that whatever you're doing is your normal, but, transit time is how we refer to that in the natural health world. I guess medical people call it that too, but it's it's making that transit time happen a lot faster.
And my understanding is that things like fermented foods are a great way to restore the flora and fauna. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, it's a new world for me. So can you share with our audience a little bit about how that works? Can you go into that?
Well, I guess the bowel is made up of a what we call a microbiome. So it's like a little world of bacteria down there that do lots of good stuff. So that's what gives us, good health starts in the bowel. So it 80% of our immune system lives in the digestive system. So all of that microflora has a part to play in helping your immunity. If that's not right, you can't break down foods properly. There's all sorts of things that go on with that. There's a delicate balance that happens all the time between the good and the bad bacteria, but the good bacteria have to always win, because if they don't, then that's when the problems start to occur with lots of things that go on. So there's a large variety of flora that live there. So it's all very good to be taking probiotic tablets, which a lot of people do these days, but it's not just about having one species of probiotic and putting that in there, because there's so many different ones, a lot of what haven't been discovered yet, I guess. And so it's good to have a variety of fermented foods. And kombucha's great, but it's not all about kombucha, It's good to have sauerkraut and kefir and tofu and kimchi and,
I love kimchi.
Lots of different sources of that food to give you different good bacteria.
Yeah. Look, I love all those foods anyway, so I'm very happy about that. But your kombucha, I have to say, it's an exceptional product. We've done a tasting together. I had a great time. So how did you've talked about your naturopathic background, and you talked about the fact that you were starting to share this product with family and friends. So first of all, how do you make kombucha? Because that's quite a new world for me.
So, I guess it starts with either purchasing or being gifted a SCOBY. My original SCOBY came from my mum, who'd been making kombucha before me, and she was the one that got all the family drinking kombucha for the good of our health, obviously.
Right.
So that's really all you need. It starts its life as a very sweet tea. There are loads of recipes online, so I won't go into that. But basically, it is a sweet tea. It can be made with black or green tea, but the black tea is stronger, makes a more robust SCOBY. And then you add a little bit of starter tea to that. So you can do that by a quality store-bought kombucha, and then pop your SCOBY on the top. Cover it with a cotton cloth, because it does need to breathe. If it runs out of oxygen, it's not good. It will die and have mould and those sorts of things. So it does need that oxygen. Yes. Pop it away in a quiet place in the corner of your kitchen. A warm spot is good, but not in direct sunlight or the hot water cupboard, because it does need that oxygen to breathe. Yes. And then you leave it for anything from 7 to 14 days. You can leave it for up to a month. The longer you leave it, the more sugar will ferment out of it, and so the more vinegary or tart the flavour will be.
Right.
So the trick is just to get a little straw or something and poke it down the side of the SCOBY and have a little taste test after about a week. And once you taste a flavour that you like, the sort of sweetness that you like, then whip the SCOBY off and pop it in a bottle, and away you go. You can second ferment to create the bubbles.
Wow, this is amazing. And you've turned that from a home operation into quite a big manufacturing business as well. What does it take to do that?
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of patience.
Wow.
Yeah, so we made a lot of mistakes early on and didn't know what we were doing. And scaling up is not easy with recipes and stuff. So it took quite a bit to get the recipes from a little jar in the pantry of 1 to 4 litres to suddenly now we're doing 200 litre batches.
Oh my goodness, 200 litres.
Which is still not large for a commercial facility. We're still quite small.
But how many bottles does that make?
About 600.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Gail, that's just incredible, starting from your kitchen into this incredible operation. And what I love too is that your product looks so different. It's branded differently. It looks like it's the sort of product that if I went to a bar, I could quite happily sit there and drink. And was that a conscious decision to brand it that way?
Yeah, it was. So I loved the look of the periodic table. Obviously coming from a naturopathic background, I sort of had this crazy idea that kombucha was an essential element of life because we need probiotics in the gut. So, I mean, it was just a little bit of humour with using something very scientific. I didn't want it to look like some of the original kombuchas, which were branded for more of the organic, healthy kind of market. Right. I wanted it to be more of a mainstream product that could go into a bar, that could sit in a bar fridge. I wanted it to be adulting for the alcohol-free because I was not drinking at the time, and I didn't want to be in a pub drinking Coke with my young children at the time, or juice in a glass with a straw, feeling like I was no different to my 5 or 6 year old kids that they were then. I wanted something that was an adult drink. Why couldn't I have something nice to drink when I went out with my husband for a drink?
So you've created it.
So I created it.
That's amazing. So you've got at the moment 4 key flavours that are... 3. Share with us what those flavours are.
So the first flavour that we launched is Japanese lime. So that looks like a wine in a wine glass.
Yes, and it's tasty.
It tastes great. It's really good as a mixer as well. So if you're looking for something healthier to put with your gin or your vodka or your tequila or even your rum, then that's the one that you should try. The second flavour that we launched is Springtime, and that is made entirely from, it's in a base of black tea, but it has a little bit of green tea, and it has 4 different flower petals in it.
Oh, gorgeous.
So it takes its flavour entirely from the flower petals, hence the strange name. But that tastes a little bit like cider and looks a lot like an amber beer if it's put into a beer glass. And again, this was not intentional. It was just happened to be how it turned out, which I was very happy with. And then our third flavour is Boysenberry Burst, which is a rich pinky purpley colour, flavoured with New Zealand grown boysenberries. So
perfect.
It's lovely, and who doesn't love a berry kombucha? Like, it's really popular because...
Well, I certainly enjoyed it when I tried it, so I totally agree with you there. Look, Gail, that's just incredible, and it's so great that you've been able to use your story, your why behind your health and your own health and wellbeing story, and that of your family, to create something which now people around the country are enjoying, not just as a drink, but knowing they're doing something great for their health as well. So Gail, thank you so much. And if you want to read more about Gail's journey and her knowledge and expertise, you can check out a couple of the articles she's actually published on our website, Guide to Better Living. Check those out. And if you want to find out where her products are available, either online or in store or in a bar near you, head to her website, kombuchacity.co.nz. Gail, you're an amazing entrepreneur. Thank you. Well, this is a little bit exciting. I'm here at the Hotel Britomart to find out what the experience is like at the chef's table. Come on inside and let's have a look. Ooh, exciting. Tucked away on the first floor of the Heritage Masonic and Buckland buildings is the Libraries, a series of one-of-a-kind elegant spaces created to host intimate gatherings, private dinners, meetings and small events. Now, when it comes to interiors, the Hotel Britomart has utilised the best of these historic spaces, adding infusions of art, design, food and a stellar wine list into the mix. And I must admit, this venue is certainly like no other.
The lounge is beautifully furnished and features incredible artworks by Ralph Hotere and Shane Cotton, juxtaposed with the brick walls, revealing layers of history, really adding to the mana of the venue and creating really interesting talking points. The loft-like wine library is lit by a chandelier of handcrafted glass and lined with high shelves filled with bottles, and its Kauri table in the centre is the focus of tailored wine tastings or private dinners of up to 12 people. The Libraries delivers a warm, intimate and considered hospitality experience, connecting food, wine and people together in a way that I've never experienced before. With bespoke menus tailored to suit the needs and tastes of your guests, every dish was thoughtfully designed, prepared and presented with next-level wine pairings and origin stories of both the wine and the food. And it was touches like that and the company we shared the experience with that made it extra special. The Chef's Library itself is an intimate private dining room that hosts up to 8 guests for sublime dishes. The chef created a bespoke menu accompanied by exceptional wines to match, which really added to the specialness of this experience. The adjacent kitchen allowed us to have easy conversation with the chefs, seeing them prepare these extraordinary dishes with care while we created amazing memories together. And each unforgettable course was both Instagram worthy and an emotional culinary journey all of its own. The menu itself was a delicate balance of flavours and textures with a number of surprises along the way, each perfectly matched with the best of local and international wines. From butterfish to venison and even some caviar. We were repeatedly treated like royalty throughout the whole experience and were even given a private tour of the kitchen and their chillers, filled with locally caught and sustainably sourced fish, meat and poultry. To be honest, choosing a favourite dish was like choosing a favourite child. Each dish was another amazing moment and a dining experience I will never forget. As we wandered through the space, it was easy to see what was possible, from small group gatherings to romantic dinners for two. Finally, we snuck into the Pupuki room to check it out. Now, this is another special space filled with light and the textures of ancient native timber and century-old brick. And it's a generous, flexible space that can host seated dinners or cocktail functions or presentations, meetings and gatherings of up to 50 people. So if you've got a special event coming up, this definitely needs to go on your list. Well, this was certainly a space and experience you will remember for a lifetime. So reach out and book your own chef's table at the Hotel Britomart, or for bigger gatherings, check out some of their other amazing spaces. Struggling with pain or discomfort, joint pain, muscle fatigue, cramps or chafing? Then you need Qolium. Qolium is a range of organic and natural New Zealand indigenous plant-based muscle relief creams, cooling gels and anti-friction creams designed to soothe away aches, pains or skin irritation. Originally designed by a physiotherapist to support the recovery of pro athletes, Qolium muscle rubs and anti-chafing creams are a great choice for hardcore athletes, sporty kids, or those with injuries, arthritis, or daily aches and pains. So order yours now in the Guide to Better Living online store and use the coupon code GUIDE10 in the cart to secure a 10% discount. Reclaim your life and your movement with Qolium.
If you're looking for a fun experience to enjoy with family and friends or a girly day out, you can't beat a trip to Waiheke Island. And it all starts here in downtown Auckland. With its mix of amazing wineries and spectacular scenery, Waiheke Island is the perfect place to have fun, escape, and create memories that will last a lifetime. And the brilliant team at Ananda Tours, who are actually Waiheke's longest running family owned tour company here on the island, can actually personalise or customise your tour experience to ensure you and your party have the best day ever. I'm so excited. Wow, what a day! And what a great way to celebrate a special occasion. Great food, great people, and a great experience. That's what Ananda Tours offers. Check them out online and come and experience the best of Waiheke. See you next time.
Hi, here I am again, Anne Batley Burton, aka Champagne Lady, here with yet another little tip on champagne etiquette. Now we've got to the point we're going to open the bottle of champagne, your beautiful champagne of choice, whether it's a non-vintage, whether it's a vintage, whether it's a Grand Cru, whatever, whether it's a rosé, whatever it happens to be. It's very, very important that we follow the right etiquette to open this very special bottle. First of all, on most good bottles of champagne, on the foil there is always a perforation line. So that's very easy to find. So where the muselet, which is the wire cage, you'll see the edge of that and you peel that back and it will run around where the perforation line is. So just the very top that covers the cork is going to come off. The last thing you want to do is rip the whole foil off, make a mess of it, and worst case scenario, rip it off so the whole neck of the bottle is bare. I've seen that happen and it's just horrified me. It looks so ugly. So firstly, that's what you're going to do. After you've removed the foil, of course, there's the mucilage, which is the wire cage. So gently remove the mucilage. Make sure that you keep your thumb firmly on the cork the whole time. Then you'll hold the bottle in your left hand, or I would since I'm right-handed. Then you turn the bottle, not the cork. So you turn the bottle, I turn it to the left, and I hold the cork, and the cork just eases its way out. And don't let it go off like a rocket. It needs to sound like the sigh of a satisfied woman. Just a whisper. Absolutely beautiful. Some people think it's great fun to spray it all over the place, which is very crass actually. But if they do, they're losing most of the effervescence, so you end up with flat champagne. So why would you do that? So once we get to the point of pouring, you're going to hold the stem of the glass on an angle. Always hold the glass by the stem. Then you hold the bottle with the thumb and the base of it. And if you happen to be in the hospitality industry and you're wanting to show your customer what you were drinking, you want to make sure that the label is actually turned towards them. At that point, bottle on an angle, the glass on an angle, you slowly pour the champagne into the glass. That way you don't lose the effervescence. Then you're left with this wonderful rush of bubbles, and the finer the bubbles, the more delicate and more elegant the champagne. That means, generally speaking, that it's Chardonnay driven, but we'll talk more about that on another occasion. Now it's time to enjoy it. And when you are, you must make sure you hold it by the stem. The last thing you want to do is clutch it like a beer glass. Not very elegant at all. And as always, please remember to drink responsibly. Cheers.